Greetings from sacred space at Titania's realm. It's 4 p.m. on the 2nd of August 2026, and I've just completed this little project. It's been in the wings for some time, but I finally set the stone, and actually it looked a bit mediocre when I first set it, and I was a bit disappointed. It's moonstone, which is a form of labradorite, which is why it reflects all sorts of different amazing colours that are trapped within the layers of the stone. There's a proper word for it, striation, something like that. Anyway, I'm not a geologist, but I remember reading about it somewhere, sometime. So, but as I said, it was looking a bit mundane and lackluster, like it had lost its colour. So I got inspired to paint it with liver of sulphur, which when you add a tiny bit of ammonia to it, makes it come up with all these miraculous colours. So lost a little bit of colour actually when I had to go back in again, because I decided I wasn't happy with the edge of the bezel. It had too many scratches and marks. So I had already coloured it and even put Renaissance wax to try and preserve the colour. And then I wasn't happy, because having gone over the edge of the bezel with I can't think of the name. I'm sorry, Karen. I'm so exhausted. But the kind of no, that's the wrong one. Oh, the gods. Anyway, it's kind of a rubber wheel, like got pumice in it. Very expensive. Bought it from America. But I sort of frantically, because it didn't have the right graver to clean up the bezels, so I frantically Googled it, and it said you can go over it with this, and I was like, fantastic, I have these. They are in my ability to improve on my beautiful pendant. So I went around the edge of the bezel, and it looks much cleaner, because before it was all, you could see all the cutting and chipping where I tried to clean it up with the graver, but I didn't have the right graver. I need to get a flat graver or an onglet. I was trying to do it with my very fancy CRS gravers. This one I have to fit into, where's it gone? Can't find it now. It's somewhere here. Fit onto a handle, because that one was one I had on back order. Can you believe it took a year and a half to get to me? But anyway, it's the wrong one for the working on the bezel. Let me just show you. It's going to be exciting, and it probably needs sharpening too, but it was the wrong angle. So I've got to, set that into its handle. That's another job to do today. Could wait. I've put it off for a week or so. But anyway, while I think about it, I want to get that completed. Anyway, distracted. So anyway, what was I saying to you, people of Earth? Yes. So I cleaned up the bezel, which I'm now very happy with. It's if you're a jeweler with a critical eye, and you actually an expert, you can see that the bezel I made for it is a little bit too short. So I panicked that it might not hold the stone in place, and there is a slight little click or crack where it's not quite sitting down, but I don't think it will fall out. And if it does, the stone didn't cost me, very much money, so it's not really a great tragedy. But I'm just I'm telling you this on Instagram and YouTube, people, so that you learn by my mistakes, because I need to learn by my mistakes too. I needed a slightly higher bezel because it needed to reach, actually, if you look very carefully, up to this point here. So, and as I said, it's holding, but it may fall out at some stage. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I've just been playing with it, knowing that it wasn't going to be perfect from the moment I did the actual bezel, so I'm not too distraught about it all. I'm going to add it to my toothy charm necklace where I'm going to put all my teeth on, because I've got another moonstone pendant that I made a couple of years ago. I probably should have a look at cleaning up that bezel on that one too. As you improve in your skills, you can see all the things that need improving. And what I think I'll do is I'll have these to bring a bit of light play to the charm necklace, because teeth are a bit boring, aren't they? I mean, they're just lumps of silver when I've cast them in silver. So let me just show you. Hang on, we're going for a walk. We're going for a walk to the Tanya's boudoir. Say hello to the people, Kermy boy. Oh, say hello. I'm not so scared of Mama T anymore. I'm not running completely away when she comes near me. It's getting good, isn't he? It's getting very good. We're going walkabout. While I'm in here, I'll show you. I've probably shown you before, but now that they're completed, it's all terribly exciting. Lilith, and over here we have, let me just put some light on, Oberon, all done, hanging. I might try and put another cord on him so you can have one leg or something and be flying a bit more interestingly, rather than just hanging like they're about to be hung by their own garrote. But anyway, he's come up gorgeous, and the crystals are gorgeous. And I even attached the little mushroom that my friend Jared had made for me some time ago. Right, but the fairies are not why we came in here. What did we come in here for, people of Earth? I don't remember. Oh, I'm so tired, I don't remember. Oh, one more fairy. One more fairy. Queen Titania has her crown embellished now, and I also added in, she's got a pair of earrings, and her little hedgehog friend has got a crystal for a third eye. So what I wanted to show you, so you know what I'm talking about, so I know what I'm talking about when I go over my own videos. So this is the other little pendant that I made some time ago out of moonstone. Got a lovely light play, that one. And where's my toothy charm necklace? Right, so I'll bring it into the other room, into the studio. So things are happening in a far out way here at Titania's realm. You let me go past Kermy without being frightened? Oh, you got Bo in your cage. Are you bored? We didn't go outside today. It looked like it was going to be a lovely day, and then it came over all horrible. And anywho, Mummy had things to do, so there was that. Right, so so what's going to happen? This is the plan, people of Earth. The grand plan. This This pendant is of, if you know me in real world, in everyday life, this pendant was spirit-led about 2-3 months after Charley passed away. It's the top mandible of her beak where I had buried her, but the scrub turkeys, I blamed the scrub turkeys, but it could have been some other kind of animal like a possum or a bandicoot, had dug her up and her body was gone, but I didn't know this had happened. But I had a spirit at me and at me and at me that particular day. I think it was 27th of April, I can't remember. But anyway, it was about 2 months. She died on the 26th of January 2025, so it was about almost 3 months to the day since she'd passed. And I was sitting here at my bench and I had a spirit at me saying, because I'm a shaman, I sometimes give offerings to appease the spirits, depending on if I feel the need or if I get instructed to do so. And so I had a spirit at me and at me and at me to go and give offerings to the fairies, which I've dedicated the top right-hand corner of my garden as the fairy corner. So I try very hard to not go in there. I don't weed in there unless I ask for their permission. I try not to invade their space in any way, form or manner. But this particular morning, it started in the morning. I had a spirit say to me, go and make an offering to the fairies. And I said, I'm busy, I'm working on a project. I was actually working on something else, can't remember what it was. And I don't like taking orders from either unseen entities or living entities because of my trauma issues and long-standing abuse dynamics, having a very bossy, narcissistic, control freak mother. Narcissistic and psychopathic, so narcopath. I don't like being ordered around. If people want me to do something, they have to ask me, courteously and respectfully, people of Earth, and I'll decide if it's something that I think needs to be done or I want to participate in. I like to be given agency, is what I'm saying. Anyway, that day I had no bloody agency at all. None. Zip, zero, de nada, niet. Because this spirit, who was a very large energy, I might add, very large and overbearing and a bit frightening, if the truth be known, was at me. Go make an offering to the fairy corner. Get out there. Go and do it now. And kind of the way they were bossing me actually around did remind me a bit of my mother, except it was a very large masculine energy. So I'm thinking, what's going on here? Have I lost my mind? Some of you watching this video have made that assumption that I've lost my mind, but I can assure you my mind is still quite clear and pristine and coherent and congruent. But anyway, so what happened was, they were at me and at me, nagging me, until finally I thought, you know what, it's a lovely day, it won't kill me to make an offering to the fae today. I'll go out and I'll, appease the spirit, give them what they want me to do, So I went out and I made a little pot of little honey and milk, which is an offering I like to give them, or they seem to like. It's hard to tell with fairies because they don't usually communicate with you, really. But anyway, this entity, I went out with this pot of honey and milk to the back corner of the garden. And I put it down and I said, I hope you, enjoy the offering, blah, blah, blah. And I turned to my right where my dog Beauregard is buried. And next to him was where I put Charley, because they were best of friends. Well, kind of friends, frenemies, friends and enemies at times, but they were close, they had a close bond. So I went to put, before I went to turn away, I was horrified and distressed to see that the place where I buried my little bird had been dug up. And so I went over to it and I was just looking at it in quite some distress. And I actually put my fingers into it to try and cover it over, thinking in my mind that maybe her body was still there. But when I sort of investigated further, she was definitely gone. But I found this bright orange. No, I apologise. It wasn't bright orange because the coloration had decomposed or gone off it in the 3 months that she'd been buried. So it's not bright orange. It's kind of a very pale bone colour. But as soon as I saw it, I knew immediately it was Charley's beak, but only the top part. I don't know where the bottom part went. Maybe it's still in there in the ground somewhere, or maybe the animal kicked it up somewhere else. I don't know. But anyway, I found this. So I was standing looking at it in shock, real shock and grief. And I bent down and I picked it up, and then the energy, the voice that had been communicating with me all morning, by this time it was around about 12 noonish, said to me, "Now do you see why I wanted you to make an offering? So you would find that her grave has been disturbed and that this beak is here, top of her beak." So I actually said to that entity, I said, "Why are you doing this to me? Are you trying to torture me? This is just beyond ghoulish and awful, right?" And they said, "No, we wanted you to have it." I had been crying and praying as one does when one grieves one's pets, that I wanted my Charley back, which I knew was a childlike and irrational thing, that there's no way I will ever have her back with me in physical form in this lifetime. But this was how she was given back to me, in the most supernatural, miraculous, magical, astonishing way. So I just stood there kind of in awe and in shock, actually, and I thought, well, her little body's gone, been eaten by something, and of course her spirit is not there. What am I going to do with this little beak? And the spirit actually said to me, I'm calling it a spirit, but it was such an enormous energy that I actually believe it was kind of an angel. They said to me, "Go inside now and cast it in sterling silver." And I said, "I don't want to. It's weird. It's gothic. It's a bit creepy, and people won't like it, and if I wear it." And then I thought about, what do I care what people think? As if people would ever have, most people have only ever been vicious to me or sadistic and let me down. Why should I care what people think? I thought to myself. But I'm rationalising with this entity because it was freaky that I was even communicating with it. Anyway, long story short, they were at me and at me and at me to cast it in sterling silver, and I actually didn't have enough map gas. Like, I went out by the time, under cover of darkness, by the time I had cast the beak in the Delph mode, it was already, like, night had fallen. So I went out to make, even that was kind of weird, I went out to make her beak in the dark, because sometimes I've done that with map gas, and I didn't realise the map gas had, there was nothing left in the tank. And there had been an argument between me and the spirit, the angel, saying, use your little Smith little torch. And I was still a bit scared of it, April last year. I still had a bit of a phobia of it. And I was like, I don't want to do it inside the house and blah, 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 and all these excuses. And they were, no excuse, do it now. And I went, but what if I have a fire? And they were like, you've got your fire blanket, you've got everything. What are you worried about? Why are you so anxious, Tanya? A big part of why I was anxious was having an unseen entity ordering me around, right? That was enough to send anyone right off their chops. So, anyway, so I made it I made it that night, and I think it took until about 10 p.m. at night to clean up the casting and polish it up, and then I said, look, I'm so tired, I need to go to bed. And they said, no, you will not go to bed until you have completed this task. So I sat there, I think it was, in the end it was up till 1 in the morning. And the next day they said to me, get that little piece of broken opal, boulder opal, this one that had broken off my other big pendant I made, and they said turn it into a heart and make a heart for it and hang Charlie's beak from that. So that was a direct order again. And as you can see, it doesn't quite fit, because what happened was, when I was setting the original heart, which was the size of the backing of the silver, a big chunk of opal fell off and it left a big, huge, gaping chip. So I had to go in and polish it down again so that it had, you know, a heart shape. And then I thought, I'm not going to bother trying to pull up the pendant completely apart and cut it to size. I'm just going to leave it like that. It's like meant to be. The only thing is, I do need to still reattach another prong here, and possibly prongs at the top, but it's been like this in this asymmetrical weird state since I made it. So I've been wearing this beak, my Charley replica of Charlie's beak. I wear this pendant fairly often, and you know what, whenever I wear it, people are extra kind to me, and it brings me a bit of luck, or people are at least pleasant and kind to me, and there's no nastiness or edge or, you know, ugliness. So I really do see it as a talismanic lucky charm object. So when my tooth got taken out on the 24th of March this year, this is the replica of that tooth, I thought what a perfect thing it would be to add them the teeth, because I've got another one that I'm in the process of. I've still got to cast it. I was going to cast it today, but I got distracted with this little piece. But anyway, I'm going to hang that when it's done in the sterling silver. I'm going to hang that, so offset that. It's a smaller tooth, but it won't matter. And then I'm going to add the 3 little teeth from my dead Pomeranian dog, my beautiful Nispella rosa Arons, which are these little tiny little munchkins here. And I could also make another casting of my daughter Crystal's baby tooth. So I have like her baby tooth maybe here or up here, and Bella's, you know, I'll attach them to a jump ring, and they'll be hanging somewhere on this. And I've got this tooth to do too. This one was one of my crowns, a fake crown. It's completely fake, that one, but I might as well, you know, replicate it. Let's keep going. And when I have the other tooth taken, the tooth number 24 that I delayed the surgery because they wanted $5,191, and I just thought that was excessive. But when that finally gets removed, I'll make that in sterling silver and add it to my toothy charm necklace. But you see what I mean about adding, I think adding these 2 charms, these 2 pendants, probably higher up, because I don't want them to detract from the beautiful Charley beacon opal. So I'll have freaking teeth everywhere, man, and it'll be like a shamanic, witchy, fairy inspired or angel inspired Mojo necklace. Mojo necklace. I mean, I might get a few weird looks when people realise I'm running around with my own teeth hanging off my chain, but I mean, it's not like they're the original tooth. I mean, that's the original, but I'll be casting it, is what I mean. And that would make an interesting ring, to be honest. I could go all day. I could go all day, people of Earth. What can I say? Imagination is key. But yes, so I wanted to show you because that's what's going to happen. I've already thought about this one that I made. When did I make this one? Can't remember. 2 years ago, a year or so ago. And one of my attempts at doing, the Viking braiding, I did a better job of actually the braid on that one than I did on this one because there's huge gaps, but I've disguised it with the liver of sulfate, colouring it up. But it doesn't matter because it's only for me, and it's going to make a very interesting necklace. Very interesting necklace indeed. And I actually already love it, even though it hasn't been put together yet. Very interesting. I'll have to get quite a big kind of jump ring because I made that actually to hang down as a pendant, the bail. So I'll need to make some kind of bigger, thicker, heavier jump ring to attach it to the chain. But yes, that's my next work in progress, is attaching this to this and that one to that one. I think I'll wait before I attach it till I've cast the other chopper, possibly. Wait till... No, why wait? You never know when your number's up, do you? But I'll wait till I cast this one so I can add that in. And then tooth 24, when it finally gets removed, which I'm dreading, people of Earth, tooth 24 should probably go there because it's enormous and has 3 roots and looks like a squid. So it can go there opposite this gnarly little bastard that caused so much ghastly horror, and actually I was really, in real terms, kind of tortured. So it can counterbalance that one there, I think. And then that one, and maybe the doggy teeth can go up there. And maybe I'll make 2 little ones of Crystal's teeth so they can be either side, or I'll do something interesting with that. So it's all very exciting, isn't it? Probably not to my audience who think I'm batshit crazy with my story of how I came to have this beautiful Charley pendant, which I adore. I didn't end up drilling into where the nostrils would be, I just left them. But maybe I will one day dig that bit of puddled silver out and have a look even more like a beak. But maybe it's good in a way that it's not so obvious, it doesn't freak people out when I'm out. Anyway, it doesn't freak me out, that's the most important thing of all. But look how perfect she was. My sweet little baby, my darling, my sweet up, my angel. Right, anyway, people of Earth. So I'll just show you again before we go. 29 minutes I've raved on about that. The beautiful light play. The only thing I wish I'd done is that I'd cut a little bit of a design in the back of it, like a little love heart or something, so the light could shine from the back and come through the stone. However, I'm still getting quite a lovely flash. That's called a flash. And it's actually still quite lovely. So that's how it's going to be, babies. this one has some lovely flash too. Lovely flash. So yes, I think it's a good idea that I put them. Let's have a look at the bezel, because this is one of my early pieces. So let's see how gnarly the bezel is. I'm talking about the edge where it meets the stone. It's not too bad actually. That one was way worse. Let's have a look. Yeah, look, I think it's okay in the state it's already in. I don't think I need to poke around too much with it. So, very exciting. As I say, have a beautiful day, people of Earth. Remember, as always, from my lips to God's ears, at Titania's realm, to never ever let the bastards grind you, me, us down. And I can't wait to hang those things off that. I don't know where to put them. I don't know whether to put them in between so that they gather the light and have the teeth going up. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. It's going to look very, very interesting indeed. Exciting. So perhaps tomorrow, if I'm not too tired, now that I've completed the moonstone pendant, this little sweetheart here, and also it was my first attempt at stamping, so they're a bit off centre. Seem to make things a little bit off centre, and it drives me nuts. But anyway, what can I say, people of Earth? I'll get better with practice, I guess. So that was one of my first stamping efforts, is what I wanted to say. And that was a texture plate. And it's all come up really, really lovely. That one doesn't have texture because it was before I bought the texture plate. Anyway, lots of magic and potential in that little piece. Lots and lots and lots. I have to make sure that they don't smash together when they hang down. Otherwise they'll just damage each other. So I'm thinking, yes, something like that. And yes, Charley's beak and the boulder opal will have company. Very prodigious company indeed. Moonstone pendants and cast sterling silver teeth. It's perfectly fitting. All right, what was I saying? Oh yes, goodbye. Have a wonderful afternoon and evening, and stay happy. Bye for now.